Look at this beautiful halter strap style wedding gown. We're going to reduce the straps, too big, and the hem needs to go up 2¼ inches on the over layer, 1 inch on the in-between layer, and the bottommost layer needs no work at all. I'm going to attach these two straps permanently at their new length. I'm going to pin them right here, zip off the 3 inches total that I need to take off, following a 1½ inch guideline right here. Ready to sew, 1½ inches in. Sewing that new strap seam. Looks real good. Now all we'll do is we'll fold back the excess and tack it down by hand, having taken the hooks and eyes off. Had we not wanted to make this seam permanent, we wouldn't have sewn here, of course, and simply would have folded back the excess 1½ inch on each side and tack it down by hand. That's what we'll do next. Sewing down by hand, strap excess. On each side. Time to get serious about the hem. Up on the ironing board, we'll do all the measuring. We've got 3 layers here. This layer I don't need to deal with. This layer needs to go up 1 inch. This layer needs to go up 2¼ inches, and it is a sheer layer. With a fresh piece of tailor's chalk, I'm going to measure off 3/4 of that 1 inch, because the last quarter will be the narrow hem. 3/4, 3/4, 3/4, all the way around this middle layer lining skirt. Pick a place, any place, and just start cutting from mark to mark. I like to use pinking shears. It reduces the amount of fray encountered. Take your time. Invest in one of these. It's a rolled hem presser foot. I think I paid $10 or $11 to get 2. One of the best things you'll ever invest in when you want to be perfect at that narrow hem that you find on formal wear so much. Here we go with that rolled hem presser foot. Just could not be slicker to my mind. Follow the manufacturer's instructions on how to use one of these, and if you're not confident about using one of these, just roll the hem yourself. Do it yourself. But this is a beautiful result. Time to mark off the sheer layer. We need to take 2¼ inches off. I'm just going to cut off 2 inches and let that last quarter be the narrow hem. Admittedly, the sheer layer is not going to be as much fun as the lining layer was because it is so delicate and flimsy. So if you're a first timer, watch, but you probably want your first bridesmaid dress to be satin, thoroughly satin, as that's a sturdier material and much, much easier to work with. So here we go, marking off. Again, cut from mark to mark. There's no denying doing a rolled hem on the bias can be, well, tricky. So you just go slowly, stopping every now and then. Get yourself set up for the next rolled area. Until it lasts you all the way around. Even with a rolled hem presser foot, formal wear hemming can be daunting. So a lot of times, especially for sheer overlays, I use the serger. There's a nice setting on the serger that can result in a beautiful hem. Look in your guidebook. Look in your instruction book and find the page that talks about settings for a narrow hem. On my machine, the differential feed is set at the R position. I just use 3 of the dials. One is set at 2 and 2 are set at 6. And what I get is a nice narrow string. It's much narrower and tighter than your normal serging. Let me show you the result. Making sure to practice on a scrap. Begin. Like so. Allow for a small amount to be sheared off. And this is going to be infinitely easier, especially going around bias curves. You just keep on going, and in a second here I'll show you what it looks like. See, you have a very nice, tightly bound hem. On checking further, here we have a longer sample. In a moment I'll show you the finished skirt. It'll be exquisite. Here we are doing the real thing. Go ahead and press the satin layer. But if I were you, I would just leave alone the sheer overlay. This dress needs to be steamed, and I'll tell you about that in a minute, but look at how beautifully this narrow hem on the serger has resulted. Here we are, finished at last. You've been taught how to do the narrow hemming of formal wear with the rolled hem presser foot and the serging technique. Look at the beautiful result. Now this dress needs to be steamed, and you can try the old leave it in the shower technique, or you can buy an inexpensive handheld steamer device. Look into that, because you would use that more than just for formal wear, for travel, for curtains and drapes. So there you have it. You are capable of doing this. Good luck. About determining skirt length. Have the client stand straight and tall, and then find the tips of the shoes and measure out. Don't bother with pinning all the way around, especially when the skirt has a sheer overlay, as is in this case, unless you really want to pin all the way around. Instead, just measure out the excess from the bottom of the shoes, okay? Now, in this case, it looks like we're 9 inches. Yes, 9 inches too long. So one assumes one should cut off 9 inches then and narrow hem, right? Wrong. Only cut off half that amount. Have the client back for a fitting, because you might be very surprised to discover that it's closer to the proper length than you would have thought. That's because when you cut off a great deal of fabric weight, the material wants to spring up more than you thought it would. So don't be surprised. Cut conservatively. Have your client back more than once if need be, and all will be well. Everyone will be happier.